be talking for like an hour. We'll chug it.
Gotta time it, 20 minutes. Oh shit, that wasn't supposed to happen. I was just trying to scratch my foot.
All right, cheers.
Salud.
Right, thank you for doing
Cheers,
this again.
Man. No problem.
Again, fucking, you were the last person. You gotta stop kicking the table.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I know this is a small table and you're a large man, but
Just trying to readjust. Yeah, the last time was what, end of 2020, you know?
yeah, I listened to it, not recently, I listened to it a while ago, and we were talking about New Year's, which would have been New Year's 2021.
Yeah,
And that was the last time I had a human being on this podcast. It might also be close to the last time I had alcohol in my system. It's been a while.
Well, it's good to be back. Things are semi-normal here.
Yeah, fucking, we're sitting in front of each other.
And I'm not wearing a mask, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's a big part, right? We're moving forward, but, you know, we're still in that slump here in Ontario with certain things. And
Yeah. Things might get dicey with alcohol. I really have no idea. Have you been drinking a lot?
I have not. Although yesterday after class, we went out for a beer, and it was well-deserved. So, but it was just one.
Does it hit still?
The beer always hits harder than the liquor for some reason. But this should be a good breeze.
So we were just kind of like pre-roll talking about like, yeah, I don't remember exactly. Did we talk last time about how you started? Because if people don't know, you are personal trainer, strength coach.
Yeah.
You coach competitors. You coach. Tell us about
everyday gym goers. You know, the way I started, honestly, it was just training when I was 16 with my friends in the high school gym. And then...
So like high school.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't training them back then, but learning and then trying to figure out exercises myself to help them out with, which then I saw one of my younger friends back in high school. When we just finished, he started personal training, and I asked him, like, when did you start doing this? I've always been, you know, thinking about it. I just never took a step forward or knew how. He told me some info, and then, you know what, back in 2012 was when I got my first job in Good Life. I worked there for almost a year, and it was a good decision back then, but towards the end, I'm pretty glad I got out of it.
How old were you when you first started? Also, let's close these windows. Sorry.
I'd say like 22 training people. 22.
I'm going to shut that window behind you. Sorry. Should have did that before. I'm going to hear buses and traffic. Because I definitely don't. I live in the middle of nowhere. Don't worry about the street noise. We live out far in a country on a farm in an apartment building for some reason. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. So you're 22 when you're...
Yeah, I believe so. 22 or 23. One of those. I forget. That back then, yeah. That's when I first started personal training. Did pretty well with it, but I wanted to do more of my own thing. And that's when I reached out to Dan, because I saw that we were high school friends.
You and Dan, that's Torque Barbell.
Yeah, Dan Pekovsek, the owner of Torque Barbell. He was running his own little boot camp type of training and
a
little more individual training out of a small space near Islington area, Islington Village. Yeah. Not too far from where Torque is now. And I reached out to him saying, hey, how can I get my clients in there? Like, is there a rent fee or something? He brought me on with his other members and his partner at the time. Started there for a bit. It was just strictly just personal training. And then, you know, a few years later, him and his partner back then opened up Torque for a bit. And now he's the owner, right? And it's going well. But I feel like that's home, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much where my true training gig started, was working with those guys and Torque Barbell at the beginning.
So you're straight from Good Life right to Torque?
Yeah, Good Life, and then my own thing with them more privately for about a year, almost a year and a half, and then shortly after Torque opened in 2013. And
you would have been there right, like, from when they were opening?
Yeah.
Because, like, I've seen pictures of, like, of the gym being built, and you're there.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool process. Seeing that space get, you know, torn apart and then painted and put together was pretty neat.
Yeah, what's your memory of the early days, and like how did you How do you get involved in like building the place? Was like, does Dan tell you like, I'm thinking I got this spot?
It was mostly Dan's work. Just because I think he took time about a month away from the, like, when they got the place, I'm sure he took some time off from the personal training part of his part to start building with his colleagues, and I think his dad was also helping. So we were still working at the gym with our clients while he was putting pretty much with his contractors, trying to put that place together and figure it out. But I got like my sneak peek a few times with Mike and Dan a few times, and it was pretty good. You see the place pretty much open space, broken down.
Yeah.
And then I helped a little bit closer to the opening, putting the weights in, putting the machines together, organizing where things go, the turf, laying out things. But when it came to building, I don't have much to say on that. That was mostly him and his side.
Yeah.
They did great, you know. But when it came to helping him out, when it came to the weights coming in, the machines, the racks, the dumbbells, the plates,
just like an extra pair of hands.
That was the fun part, right? There was a few of us, not too many. He just wanted to keep it, you know, small and just get to work. And that picture by the front, that's at Torque. It's us, it's myself, Brett, and Dan. The day before Torque opened on the Sunday, and then we opened on Monday, I believe.
Damn.
And it's a lot. A lot has changed, and growth has happened, you know, and it's been one hell of a ride. I'm not. But
to this day, you're still in there.
Yeah, I'm still there. I'm definitely an old guy there now.
Yeah, it's weird watching that happen.
There's a whole new generation there.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's good. That's what I like, is seeing growth in other people and myself and my colleagues, my friends, family.
Yeah. Growth
is the biggest. I think growth for 2022 has been huge for many people, including myself.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah.
Because 2022 is that because you started fire.
Yeah, I started.
You didn't start a fire.
No, I started school for firefighting. Yes.
That's it. Yeah, there you go. It's much better than how I said it.
It's been a very rewarding 4.5 months so far.
4.5 months is how. So when did you start? That was.
So we're gonna be finishing in 4.5 months. So it's been just over 3.5. We have 3 weeks left. So we'll finish about just before mid-April.
So then what happens
mid-May.
What happens after that?
The real stress begins of getting your certifications after the schooling is done. So you're getting your part 1 and 2, like firefighter 1 and firefighter 2 certification through the schooling, and other little certs that would help your resume. But then you have the OFAI, which is another entity of testing that you need, that other municipalities are looking for when you're applying. So you need your stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Stage 1 requires I believe, I could be wrong, do not quote me on this, an aptitude test and a hearing test, and I believe also an eye exam, or that could be in stage 2, I forget.
Like physical stuff.
Yeah. Stage 2 would be either the eye exam and a physical treadmill test. You're fully on gear, on air, and I believe the treadmill inclines I forget how often it goes up, until about 15 or 20 minutes. Lots of people have failed, so it's we'll see what happens, but it's also something that we should be capable to do in a way.
It's just funny because like you come from a background of fitness and you end up going to something that's like technically not fitness, but still fitness is a large aspect of it.
It's huge. It is. I am exhausted every single day, and we just started doing.
So is that one of the reasons why? Like why fire? Like what made you want to do that?
Man, this takes it back to like when I was a child, right? And I mean, I'm sure any foreign kid can speak behind me on this. You know, your parents never wanted you to be anything blue collar. It was always a doctor or a lawyer. That's what they hope for, right? Yeah. And then you turn out however you do. But firefighters in Chile don't really make money. It's mostly a volunteer job. It's not a high-paying job. Whereas Canada, it's a much different job, right? And I thought I never pursued it because at the time when I was 21, 22, fitness was the only thing I could think about. It was all I wanted to do. I saw great money in it. I saw great business coming from it, relationships.
Yeah.
But you know what? I do not regret starting this now. I wish maybe like 3 to 4 years ago I started it, a little bit later in my 20s, but now that I'm, early 30s, more mature, been through a ton in my life, seen a lot. So
this is long term for you, like you
firefighting?
Yeah, like
100%.
That's
when I'm in, I'm going to be ecstatic.
So are you going to stop with training?
No,
or are you gonna stop?
No. It's so, I don't know the exact shifts, how it works, but you don't have to be there full time. I mean, the full time hours would be, I believe, once or every 12 days or every 14 days. I don't know the exact scheduling, how it goes, but I would have the availability to also train my clients on the side and on days that I'm not scheduled.
Oh, okay. So it's like you do it like
so I'd be
I imagine it like the oil rig workers where they're like gone for 6 months and then they're home for 6 months.
Not like that. Not
like
not
a less
that,
extreme version of that.
I believe one of the instructors was saying that you only work 83 days a year. And that's spread out through however many shifts you get in that month. You can work overtime if you'd like, of course. But it's 24-hour shifts.
Okay.
And they say the best days, the ones that you don't have to put your bunker gear on, meaning there's no calls, everyone's safe and happy.
Well, yeah, I would think so.
yeah. But honestly, Kev, it's been a rewarding journey.
Yeah, because I haven't seen you like pretty much at all since you started that.
It's been long days.
And all I see is
early mornings.
You'll occasionally send me a picture of like a burnt car or like somebody's phone that melted in a fire.
Oh my God.
But I'm like, other than that, I just don't see or hear from you ever. I'm just like, he's just doing his fire stuff. Just
it's tough.
Putting out fires.
It's long days and you have a lot to read up on and study for, and testing exams pretty often. Every 2 weeks we'd have something. And you do like I said earlier, the OFM is or the OFAI is one entity of the certifications. The OFM is another one, and then we have us, the schooling. So you have these different parts that you need to keep up on and pass and get through, right? But once you pass the FESTI one, you're done, you're graduated. And then you do the OFM, once you pass, great, you're done. Yeah. But it's the OFAI is that if you fail, you have to pay again and redo it. And even if you pass, each one of them expires certain times. So I believe one of them expires annually, one of them expires every 3 months, one of them expires every 6 months. So if you're not,
it's like a driver's license.
If you're not hired by then, you have to redo that same test that you already have passed.
Yeah.
So that's where the tough part comes in of, overcoming adversity.
Yeah.
Those hard times of, if you fail, do you still want to do it? There's people that will still be applying 3, 5, 6, 8 years later. It's a hard position to get into.
Yeah.
You're pretty much applying versus another 2,999 applicants for one position.
Because I was going to ask you, like, how much of a difference has it been, like, shifting out of... But it sounds like it's not... Fundamentally, it's pretty similar to, like, fitness. Like, you get certain levels of certification. I guess the difference of it being there is, I guess, more of a structure, like a predetermined path, so to speak, when you do something like fire, because there is, like, a path that you must take in order to get to this singular destination. Whereas with training, you can take it a lot of different areas. Like, you can go online, you can stick to...
With training, you can do it right now together. You and I, we can become personal trainers. Unfortunately, that's the way it's been. That's the way it's become over the last decade or so. An easy online certification, or you can just go and do the written ones. But it's not the same as it used to. Before, it was a little bit more... You need to know your anatomy, your physiology. You need to know the rights and wrongs. You need to know a lot more of the biology parts of the fitness world.
So does that bother you now? Like, when you see people...
It doesn't bother me, but you can see that now it's different.
Yeah.
It's a lot more unqualified people giving out necessarily wrong answers, but...
Yeah, but you can have godly genetics.
Yeah.
Go on Instagram, get a 10K following, and then just say, DM me for coaching. You don't even...
Nothing wrong with that, right? But
as somebody who came up at a time when it was very much
the online presence was just growing.
Yeah.
But it's not to put anyone down that you can't get your certifications or anything like that. It's just become easier. to get that position.
Yeah.
Compared to before. Before it was a little bit more of a challenge. You know, you had to really, it was an interview you had to pass, and you had to know your stuff.
Yeah.
But the way I see personal training now going forward, it's going to be towards more online stuff.
Yeah.
Especially since this pandemic, people, shifted more at home or online or invested, yourself. You invested in a great home gym.
Yeah. That's another thing we talked about. So that's one thing we said. You said on the you said the last time you were on here was like the flex of 2021 will be your home gym, and it was. And that's like of all the things that people talk to me about when I see them, like one of the first things that comes up is like, where is that home gym?
Right. So that's where I see personal training shifting a little bit more is online.
Yeah, because I think a lot of things are, even this is a little bit of a stretch, but like, the idea of like lining up at a grocery store and going to a cashier as opposed to just going to a self-checkout. You'd much rather opt for the option where you don't have to interact with another human being.
I always go to self-checkout.
Yeah, right. It's just
Costco has self-checkout.
Is that true? Is that right?
Costco has not the Queensway. I don't think. I haven't been there in a while, but the Dixie and Dundas has self-checkout. And it's pretty smooth, man, because you're used to seeing a huge line with over like 1,000 items in a cart.
And then you got to see like you got to stare at if you're like at the drugstore, you got to stare at the cashier while she checks out your condoms and whatever the fuck. But now you can just like be discreet about it, hide it under like a bottle or whatever, and then just hide under a shampoo bottle.
The receipt will show me. That's all.
So, but like, I mean, I guess that makes sense as to why like people are shifting to more wanting to do things less. A little bit more self-taught, but with professional guidance, I guess. I'm
still all for the in-person training.
Yeah.
I'm really hands-on. I want to be there fixing your form. I want to be there cueing you and coaching you through each thing that's happening between your movement or whatever you're doing, just so you understand what's happening. Because a lot of people move instead of interact with their body. It's easy to move a weight from point A to point B and make it look like you're contracting your muscle trying to do that.
Right.
And that's the way I see is wrong in a lot of people, and why the progress is slow, why they're never sore, why they're not growing. It really comes down to mind to muscle connection, depending on what the goal is, right? Even in powerlifting, you're still using these muscles. Yes, you want to go to point A to point B, but you also have to focus and send those signals of, hey, we're going right now all together. Boom, one shot. That's why some people don't even understand what a pump is, right? Never felt it. Never understood what sore is. They just kind of go there and move their joints around until they've counted 15 times 4, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because you're thinking about the intention of
getting numbers down.
Yeah,
compared to
as opposed to engaging.
Getting repetitions in.
Okay.
That's what it's always about reps in, reps out. And if you don't count each one and make your warm-ups all the way to your drop and your last little bit left, it makes a difference, right?
Yeah. So it's all about the intention of whether, like what you're going in there to do. Because you see a lot of people that are just kind of, the casual goer that you'll talk to. I'm being really careful with my words because I don't want to be judgmental. But yeah, there are people that are just like, I go in 3-4 times a week, but then you see what they're actually doing, and it's just.
Then you see this for 3 to 4 years. Same people.
Yeah, and but that's why like it gives me so many trust issues when you hear people talk about like, I'm going to the gym consistently and I'm doing these weight things, and I'm just like, I feel like I should see you do them, because like you should be seeing more progress if you were being honest about what you're doing. Again, I'm trying not to be judgmental. If you're, but like my philosophy on it is whatever gets you in the gym. I don't care what it is. If it's January 1st, if it's,
I'm happy that you're in there.
I'm happy you're in there. Exactly. I don't care what your why is, as long as you have one.
Let's get to work. If
it gets you in the gym, it's good for me.
Yeah.
And that's all I care about. So like I
said to you, sorry to cut you off. Like I said to you back in the last podcast, I wanted those kids to come back to gym class.
Yes.
I'm not a teacher. I'm not the leader. I'm not a captain. But I know that if I say something to them, it could change the way they see the next year of the gym class. Instead of, holy crap, I suck, no one's picking me, I'm useless. Man, this is fun. I can interact with people. This was a great, like, wow, I got chosen first out of the first time, and it feels different.
Yeah.
I've seen the people's reaction.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thinking about it more now as a trainer when you look at all, like, the clients you've changed lives for and the great outcomes you've had. And you see the facial expression of, wow, I can do it.
Yeah.
I can take that step forward. I can be challenged and overcome it.
Yeah. Because even for me, like, I definitely growing up had a hard time fitting in anywhere just because I'm fucking weird. But, yeah, like, I just didn't feel included pretty much anywhere I went. And, you know, going through school, high school, in university, I found a core group of people, but I never really had like a close knit group of people that I really connected with on anything, right? And I don't think that really experienced that until I found specifically Torque. I don't know if it was specifically that one environment or if it was just that it could have been like any gym and it would have been the same outcome. Fuck no. But or if it was a matter of the sport or if it was that space specifically.
I truly don't think it could have been any other gym. In a sense of, like, yes, it could of course happen at any other gym, but that gym is special in its own way. And everyone sees it. You know, everyone who comes in, first experience at least, is like, wow. Especially on a good busy day.
Yeah.
Like a Saturday morning. You feel welcome. You feel like you want to push it. Whether it's arm day, leg day, calf day, whatever it is, you want to go in there and push it.
Yeah, no,
you
you're
see
right.
Other people literally beside you, across from you, behind you, killing it.
Yeah.
Makes you want to be like, oh, fuck,
you'll hear it from people who were
Mm-hmm.
members at Torque and then left for whatever reason, if they moved or, you know, just took up at another gym. The sentiment that I've experienced from these people is that it's not the same, right?
Yeah.
There's that inclusivity, and it's unique, right? And it took me a long, because I don't even, like, how old was I? I was into my 20s when I signed up at Torque, and yeah, it was through there that I found, first of all, a community of, you know, within the fitness community, and then within powerlifting, and then when I decided to take up something creative.
What's the word? Camaraderie?
Yeah. Camaraderie. Yeah, just and it was only just because I was nowhere on the level of like half the people that were in there, you know, like deadlifting like 600-800 pounds, and I'm
because you've been there for
failing
how long now?
Oh, I have no idea. Like
4 or 5 years, no? 6
maybe more than that. Like I think
we're going
must
on
have been
9
like
years.
2015 might have been my first year.
So it's going 7, almost 8 years.
Yeah, something like that.
It's changed a lot. You've changed a lot. I remember your first month or so there.
Yeah, I remember
all you guys your first month there.
You would have.
John, Kai, Danny B, everybody, Brendan. I guess.
Yeah, but it's just, yeah, when you first step in there, there's, and I've experienced this in other places too, but like, not everywhere, granted, but like, you don't have to be the strongest guy in the room. You don't have to be the biggest guy in the room. As long as you're in there and you mean it, then generally people respond to you. And that was me, right? I definitely I'm still not the strongest guy. I'm still not the biggest guy in the gym, but when you're in there, when you're in there day in and day out with these people, they can see your enthusiasm, they can see your energy, and they can feel it. And then that's where you kind of connect. And that's
you share that bond.
Yeah, and
right.
you find these people, and that's, I think, what brings a lot of. And I think
For
that's
real.
why, like, it means so much to so many people, because it seems a little bit silly when you think about, like, we're in there lifting weights, we're like pumping whatever, but like
we're pumping
it's hard to
blood
explain
into our muscles.
Yeah. But it's like it's hard to explain to somebody that might not understand, or like why you take it. I do think some people take it too seriously. I try not to do that. I try not to take myself too seriously or what I'm doing too seriously. Like, it's fun and it's challenging at the end of the day. That's why we're there. But
it's all about growth at the end of the day,
yeah.
to be honest, right? Growth in all aspects. If you stop, that's when you start deteriorating and breaking down.
Yeah.
When growth isn't happening and there's nothing challenging
Yeah.
giving you that, like, oof.
It's just so good for you.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so good for you to have something that you're just constantly trying to be better at. And it trickles down, right? It trickles down into like other aspects of your life.
Even if you don't work out with that dude who comes in at 5 p.m. every single day, the same time you're in there, you build that bond of being like, hey, I know this guy's doing chest. I'm going to do back. And we've been doing that same thing for the past 6 months.
Yeah.
You may not train with him, but you're definitely saying, hey, I see you. Good for you. Kudos to you, you know?
Yeah.
And I see that in even some of the high schoolers that are in right now, the new kids. Some of them are really pushing forward, and I see you work hard.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you're mid-20s, you're going to be a monster, man.
Yeah, I'm so jealous of those kids that are in there that are like 16.
But some of them are not working for sure, and some of them are truly working, and I see it.
Yeah, but the fact is that they're in there.
I'm happy that they're in there.
Yeah, at that
Bond,
age,
just spread out a little bit. There's too many of you in one machine. But yeah, you guys, keep at it. Don't stop.
Yeah, but that
I wish I had that drive.
Yeah,
that facility too, in that environment.
Yeah,
because Memorial Pool Gym and the high school weight room there was so much you can see.
Yeah.
But here it's different.
Yeah,
you expose yourself into 700-pound squats and 700-pound deadlifts and 400-pound benches when you're 16, 17.
And people that are willing to talk to you about it and
how to get there. What can you do now to get there?
Yeah.
Right? So they have a lot in front of them that they can feed off and chew and acknowledge and grow from. But yeah, I'm happy that you're in there. You're crushing it towards your goals, whatever they may be. And that's what I feel like I've learned a lot in this past year. It's like more teamwork, right? I haven't had that much teamwork in a while. It's been a lot more like on your own training and one-on-one.
Did the isolation of
no, but it was good to be back, with school. We're split into platoons, and I mean there's 27 of us, but they split us up into 4 groups, and you still build that bond. I have a bond with each person from school, each 27 of them, but you get into your group, and it's good to have people there, and you share a similar thing. But I mean everybody missed that from COVID, right? Took away from a lot of people. Even being in a room with so many, it just feels good to do teamwork stuff, work together and build and solve a problem with your own strengths and weaknesses.
Do you see a lot of parallels then between fire and fitness?
Yes.
Yeah.
They work very well together, but at the same time I see it's different. It's a different state of mind, right? You're working together to solve a very drastic problem.
Yeah.
It is life or death.
I guess that's true.
And it's not our time.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So you want your best feats to be acting what it should be doing. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't put myself in the tightest space possible when I have someone who's slightly smaller than me and thinner, when I know she or he can get in there much quicker.
Yeah.
But if you want me to break in through a door or do something a little bit more aggressive with forcible entry or something like that, I may be your guy, as they called me, robust. I loved that word. When I found that what that meant, I was like, yes, I'll
You're
take
very robust.
That. So, you pick and choose your battles, but when you're on the scene, on the ground, on a call, that is not our time. From the second that starts ringing to the second you put on your boots to when you clip on your helmet, it all matters, right? It's crazy how you put it together and other people's lives are in the line and on the line. Or sorry, this is hitting. No.
I just want to refill.
Yeah, you know what?
Have another.
I'll take another one.
Welcome to Remote Control
Saturday
Kev's bar.
deadlifts at Torque Barbell. Come on by.
Don't be late like I was on the first day. That was really humiliating.
If you're late,
you get chastised, rightly so.
You're gonna have to butt someone in, and they won't be happy.
Yeah, I had to do that. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. It won't happen again.
Get there at 8:30 and warm up. But yeah, it's like I said, like 3 times already. It's pretty rewarding, man. You truly feel, even if it's saving a dummy, but like figuring out the problem that that caused it and how we can fix it is pretty cool. Very physical, very mental. A few times I was like, I'm gonna die. And it's a training. it's literally a training. What is it? A training practical whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. How do I overcome this? Then you start thinking, okay, you're not gonna die. You can get through it. It's just you need to think how to. And that's it. Yeah. It's a lot of problem solving when it comes to what's happening, what's going on.
And I guess that's good for you because you've been doing fitness for so long, right? Like that's like the only thing, pretty much.
Yeah, for a long time.
Like from the time you're in high school up until basically now. Yeah. It's like all you've been doing. It's just nice to have something else, a whole new thing to open. Was it getting stale for you at all, fitness?
Not stale, but I wouldn't call it stale, but it just wasn't thriving me.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
as it used to, in a way. Things shied away. Things quieted down.
Right.
You know, the business is still good. The clientele is still great, but I still have the passion for it. I still want to continue doing it until I retire.
It just wasn't stimulating as much as it used to be.
Yeah, I just saw another opportunity that I wanted to take a chance at and really pursue it. And now here I am, 3 weeks till I'm done school, and you know, I'm hoping next time we do a podcast, if it's next year or so, or if it's maybe shorter.
Hopefully it will not be another year.
If it is or so, I'd like to tell you, hey, I'm hired. I'm working for so-and-so. I'm a probationary firefighter here.
Well, listen.
I'm cleaning and cooking.
They can do a lot worse than to have a legit silverback on the team.
Yeah. They love it. They're over there. I told one of the captains, I'm going to change my last name to Silverback. So when you look at the jacket, it says Silverback. He's like, no, you're not. I was like, oh, watch me.
I would feel so safe.
That would be so funny.
I'd feel so safe if I was trapped in a fire and then the jacket I see has Silverback on the back of it. And it's you bursting through the door.
That'd be so funny, man.
Just busting down a door, no axe, just bare hands.
It's funny you say that. Yesterday, this week, we started doing more scenarios.
Yeah.
So, like, really acting out what would happen during your shift. You're with your, shift members. You're on one truck. We got to ride in the trucks and go to the call, even though the call was 30 meters away. But we still got that feeling of hopping in the truck and sirens on, and then hopping off the truck, getting your stuff, running to the event, scene survey, checking out what's going on. Is it safe? Can we move on? What do we do? And then we had one gym call. It was somebody fell with a barbell on their chest in the gym. We have a gym upstairs, so that was the call. So we arrived, and we're fully on gear, and fully
I got this.
And
I've saved people from failed benches.
The scene was this girl dropped a barbell on her chest.
They had to make it a girl. Come on.
So right away,
Sexism.
She fell above 3 feet. The rule of thumb is if she falls above 3 feet or so, you got to go and hold C-spine because something could have happened to her neck or spine. So I got in there. Once we finished the call, we were having a debrief, kind of, what we did wrong, what we did great. We did well, by the way. We did it all great.
Of course.
And then I'm looking around the gym, and then I see myself in the mirror, and I just saw like my future in the next 10 years. Like, it was in the gym. I'm wearing all my firefighting gear, and
it's past, present, and future.
It was just like, whoa, this is it. It truly feels like it was a call, even though it was just a dummy.
Yeah,
with its CPR and everything.
Yeah,
because it led to this, and things got worse. Shit happens in the field, and we have to be prepared for it. Prepared for the worst, literally the worst. And that's what I like about it. It's the thrill. It's that, will I even make it back home tonight? That thrill of, we got it. But the reward at the end, that relief, is different. I've never felt anything like it.
Well, listen, I'm glad you found it. You can hear the passion in your voice about it. And, the only time that I hear that energy from you is when you're talking about fitness. That's the only times that I have. In the time that I've known you is when you're talking about is when you've been talking about fitness. So now to hear you talk about something else with that same energy is like, you recognize it.
There's this guy named Anthony who's a personal trainer as well. He's a firefighter, and he runs personal, like 101, no, not 101 classes. He runs small group classes for our school.
Okay.
Dude is awesome. He's taught me a lot about air consumption, because I, as a big guy, suck air back. Like, I just do it. I don't even care. Like, okay, I'll carry a tank in the fire with me, but learning the skills that he taught me about air consumption and more conditioning style is the reason why I've gotten slightly smaller. So like, you have to add that cardio as much, because if you want to dare pack muscle on, you better damn double it with your cardio intake.
Right.
Just because.
Well, the more muscle you have
capacity,
on you, the more oxygen you need to move those muscles.
Dude, we could do the smallest thing and I'm sweating. And I look at some people and I'm like, I saw you work hard. How are you not even sweating? I'm drenched. I need to change shirts. Like, how? I don't get it. So I've gotten a lot better since I started, and that's what I'm proud of. That's night cool. And day when you hear that. It's a different it's a different game when you have a mask on and you have, a 4,500 psi tank of air.
Yeah.
That could last you 15, 20, 25 minutes depending on how intense you're doing the work.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to do it and you're doing like regular workout, like carrying stuff, farmer's walk, deadlifts. It's different. But when we're doing like search and rescue and fire related things on air,
when you put consequence on the other end of it,
and you're blindfolded, the air consumption is a lot drastic, a lot quicker. And that was pretty neat to see, to figure out, to feel how you can almost run out of air pretty quick. And when it happens, I mean, you just got to know yourself and your equipment.
We have to check in with you when you actually go and when you're on the job.
The first fire would be amazing. But we start our simulated live fires this Friday. And that'll be pretty. In a week from today, I'll be in a fire, actually. No, not this time, but earlier in the day. So I'll be telling you what happened. And
we're going to have to hear about that.
That'll be fun.
All right, listen, man. I was doing this last night. I was just pulling up. Are you familiar with a website called reddit.com?
A few people have told me excuse me. A few people have told me to do to find links there for like UFC fights and whatever those pay-per-views.
We don't do that because we don't participate in pirating, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a blogging kind of thing.
Well,
I don't really use it, but I've heard of it. I've never really had a chance to go on it.
This is going to be fun then. So I have a selection of posts from r/fitness that I've selected for. I tried to like kind of just sort of read them just to pick. Okay, this will be good. Clip it and then just try to not and forget about it. So these are from This is from 2:00 in the morning. I was doing this shit. So I'm gonna read these for you. This is from, I think this is like a horror story. Okay. I was midway through a deadlift set when someone came up and asked to grab a weight. It threw me off, and while I was able to keep form, I finished about 2 reps short while he stood there pointing at the stack. Happy to say I was polite about it, but still told him to wait next time when someone's in the middle of the set. Okay, so this is a pretty basic etiquette thing that I would hope people would know. I've never had a problem with somebody like literally coming up to you as you're in the middle of like squatting and someone's just like, hey, can I take that? That's something you don't do, right?
No, definitely not. Don't do that. Let them rack the weight and take a breath after.
So where do you draw the line though? Because there are some people that are like very weird about their like ritual around how they like do things. That they don't want you standing in this, they don't want you anywhere near where they can see you. They want you to like, they don't want you walking in front of them. They don't want where do you stand on that whole like? Does it bother you when people are walking in front of you? Does it bother you when people are, or do you not care what people are doing? As long as they're not like talking to you in the middle. That's also something you probably shouldn't do.
As long as you're not asking me a question when I'm halfway up. The one thing I don't like, but I see a lot of people do, but they also learn pretty quickly, and I'm sure you've seen it, is staring in my eyes when I'm trying to do a lift, whether it's deadlifting or squatting.
Please don't do that. It's the weirdest thing.
I get it. You like the lift or whatever, you're trying to hype me up or
staring,
cool.
Yeah, staring into your eyes.
It's one thing to stare into my eyes, but we're not making eye contact from far away. Like you're just looking in my direction, looking at my eyes or something.
I'm trying to think of like, what do I do now? Like, because when we're all lifting together, and somebody's going for like a top set, I'm like, where am I looking?
I will not stand in front of you. That's
no.
I would like to get out of your peripheral view as much as I can.
There's like a certain angle. It's like you got to be off to the side. I feel like I look at the weight. I think I look at the weight.
I look at the hips, man. Honestly, the hips. Like it shows a lot. Oh yeah,
maybe the hips.
The hips are a big thing for me. I think it shows a lot.
Yeah, because I feel like I do this. Like I'm kind of looking behind.
The weightlifter tilt.
Yeah. Oh. I feel like I'm looking. Yeah. I think the hips is it because I'm trying to see if it's a squat. I'm watching your depth. If it's a deadlift, I'm watching your back. So, yeah, but definitely don't talk to somebody because you are very social. You are very social, especially at the gym. But when you're training, it's very different. You literally have a tank top that says "fuck off, I'm training."
Oh yeah, that's a good tank top.
Have you worn that in a while?
Not in a while. It's been a hoodie season kind of thing.
But is there like a specific like when you have headphones on, don't talk to me?
I mean, that's usually the idea of most people wearing headphones, right? Don't talk to me. But
because I don't wear headphones and I still don't want you to talk to me.
It's the big movements. Don't fuck around with benching or overhead press or squatting, front squat, deadlift, whatever it is. Yeah. If I'm curling and you can clearly see that I'm not dying on the rep and you ask me, are you using this bench? I might answer, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
But if I'm fucking squatting 400 and something pounds and I'm clearly in the middle of the rep, don't ask me. Like, just wait. You could wait. You know that. People know this.
Hey, tell you this story. One time I'm on the Olympic weightlifting platform, which
that's such a hard one to get no distractions.
Because the way it's set up at our gym at Torque is that there's an Olympic weightlifting platform that's on, and then there's a stretch of turf, and then there's a CrossFit rig on the other end of it, and a wall. You
got about 7 or 8 feet of turf to the rig.
Probably, yeah. So if you're weightlifting, unless you're facing the wall, which is weird, you usually face out toward the open area of the gym. You're basically facing a few feet of turf, CrossFit rig, and then a wall right behind it. And this has happened to me a few times now. Where because like weightlifting is snatch, clean, and jerk, but it's like when you're starting. Excuse me. Hopefully the noise gate catches that. when you're in your starting position, ideally you have your head up and you're looking straight forward because that's what puts you in the right starting position. There was one of the last times that I was there was a guy in there. He and his training partner, they were doing like a circuit, and part of it was they were doing wall sits.
Don't tell me they were right in front of you.
He was doing his wall sit right in front of me.
Which rack were you in? Closest to the door or closest to the front?
I don't remember, but I remember that the CrossFit rig and the entire turf area was entirely empty. This guy, he like right in front of me, just dying. If you've ever done a wall sit, you just basically sit against the wall keep your legs 90 degrees, and it burns your core and it hurts. So he's there like like just with this struggle face on him, deadlocked on my eyes while I'm trying to throw.
See, at that point, I think I would ask, "Hey, bro, can you just move?"
I kind of wanted to, but I'm just so not confrontational that I'm like, I just like tried to look above him or like below him, or just like tried to like, but it was so distracting, like it threw off my whole. But I'm like, do I want to be the guy that's just like, "Hey, buddy, do you mind just move over a little bit?"
Yeah. Because the thing is,
because I don't want to say that it ruined my workout, but it kind of did.
It throws you off.
It definitely throws you off. So
even during a boot camp, people are just running back and forth, lunging, whatever it is, tire flipping. It's kind of hard. You kind of need that blank focus to get into.
And there's somebody staring at you doing a wall sit. It's not ideal.
But it's different if you make eye contact in a large crowd compared to 7 dudes just looking at you.
It's strange.
If you're on the Olympic stage and someone make eye contact with you, whatever, you're probably seeing past them in that eye contact zone. But like in the gym and they're like 6 feet away from you, like, is he gonna make it? Is he really lifting that?
I think that might have been part of it. Is just like it's something to take his mind off of this horrendous exercise that he's doing. Because wall sits suck. I don't do them, but anyways,
they're underrated though. I haven't heard of them like lately.
I'm wondering like where do you
talked about
who because he's a young guy,
very boot camp like.
Yeah, like he's a young guy. Like who told him to do a wall sit? Because I haven't heard anybody doing wall sit.
I'm gonna do them tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll watch. We'll do 3 sets.
We'll do them
2 minutes.
We'll do them together. 2-minute wall sit and just stare at whoever's on the platform. See how they like it.
I'm gonna stare right into their eyes. What are you thinking about?
Here's another one. First warm, rainy day in a long time, so apparently the gym is now the Amazon rainforest. When you start sweating, walking in the door, you know it's going to be a long session. Okay, this I don't really have any sympathy for because we train at a gym that's basically...
It's a sauna in the summer.
It's a sauna in the summer. It's a warehouse. And the only relief you get is like a couple of huge fans and the doors opening. But I kind of love that.
I don't like enclosed gyms.
No, me neither.
If it's underground or a second floor...
No, yeah.
And if you don't have like open air windows, it just throws me off. It's the breathing for me. I don't get that full breath. It's weird.
Yeah.
Whereas at Torque, it's
that recycled air.
No matter in the winter you'll be freezing, in the summer you'll be sweating the second you step in, which is awesome.
There is definitely a grit element to training.
Your laundry basket gets full. Socks change, boxers change.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of laundry. Everything. A lot of laundry. Well, hopefully you are no matter what.
Dude, I drink so much water during those sessions in the summer.
You have to.
It's ridiculous.
You're drenched. Being like training at Torque is as close as you can get to being outside in a gym.
Yep.
In the summer.
I love it though. The fact that you can take your
stuff
stuff outside too it's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, and it just feels like there's something about it.
The best is when the ice cream truck pulls up by the Stairmaster.
That
and he just chills there.
That is such an underrated factor. If ice cream truck drivers knew that was a thing in the summer, I feel like the first guy who did that, you'd wonder why is he not there every day?
He was definitely there just parking and then realized, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This could be a big ad.
That could be. It really the first time I saw somebody do it, I was like, this is genius. He should do this every day. And he never came back.
He did a good summer though.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, my ass was on the Stairmaster. I'm like, wait a minute. I really want one.
There's a line instantly.
So I actually love ice cream truck ice cream.
The soft serve, yeah.
That's Twist. I don't know what it is. It's such a lame chocolate vanilla, but it's good together.
Everybody knows that.
I don't get it.
The ice cream truck soft serve. There's a reason why you pay $3 or $4 when you can get a whole tub of ice cream probably for that.
It's unreal.
There's something about it.
Weird, like you can't get it anywhere until in summer. Nowhere. Even DQ is only vanilla.
I think there's also an element of like serendipity to it because the ice cream truck has to pull up. You got to catch it.
Yeah. I run to it. Like I don't care. I don't care if there's a 6-year-old kid running to it. I'm gonna beat him. I am faster. Much faster.
All right, let me give you another one. Saw a guy putting 2 plates on the bar. Goes to grip it. His gym bro goes and takes a selfie with him. Then they put the weights back, all while I was waiting to use the bench. I think
that was just trying to be a flex for a quick pick, and
I think I'm gonna call cap on this. I don't think anybody does that. Is anybody posing with fake weights or weights that you're not actually
Bradley
lifting?
Castleberry.
Man, I haven't heard that name.
I may be smaller than you, bro, but I'm calling you the fuck out.
Did you ever see that thing with that? I don't know if he's the governor of New York or whatever. That Chris Cuomo guy.
Chris who?
He's like a politician in New York, and he took a picture, or he had a video or something where he's sitting at his desk like in his suit or whatever, and he's holding, it's like 100-pound weight, and he's like pretending like he's holding this shit while he's working, and then if you see the video, it's clearly a fake weight.
I get it if it's a photo shoot and you want to go all out, but like, nah. Nah. Well,
because people know, right? Like people know what the physics of like what 100 pounds looks like.
Oh, for sure. And the struggle of how it feels like.
Yeah, exactly. So
and don't tell me you're going, I've never lived, like, no. But when we did the photo shoot, like you had me work, I was pretty fucking tired. Like, I was
I
am tired, bro. Like,
yeah, I really advocate for that. Which is,
there was nothing fake about that.
Yeah, because there's nothing more cringe than when if you do this, no judgment, but I personally hate it when when you see people doing a photo shoot and they're like making them do like a face, like like the fake strain face.
And I love Flex Magazine, but they're known for that. Like,
yeah,
they're I get it, Phil. You're a fucking beast, but I've seen you lift and you've never done that face.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it when they make them fake the effort, because I'm like, it's so clearly not genuine.
We know you're that huge, bro.
Yeah, we know. Like, we can tell when you're not really working. It's very visible. So that's why, like, I always in my own shoots, I basically tell people, like, hey, like, this is like, I'm gonna push you.
Yeah.
This is treat this like it's a workout, especially if it's a gym shoot.
Yeah. I didn't even want to do deadlifts that day. I was like, bro, are you serious?
Yeah, because I will push you. I will make you work. And
I had to warm up. Remember, I was like, okay, I gotta warm up.
Yeah, because the point of it is to capture you doing what you do, not to. Right. And you do it. You do really train. You do really train hard. We know that. So why are we gonna make you fake it while you're doing a photo shoot? You know, like, we're there to capture what you do.
But yeah.
We're there to capture what you do, not to. There's no need to pretend, because you really do it. So, like, why don't we just have you do what you do, and then just the only added factor is me being there with a camera.
That was a cool day, man. I'm gonna have to get lean for that again, just for that. I don't even care about the prep, just for that. Oh, with the firefighter gear, that'd be cool. Calendar, oh, sick. Someone asked today, or the chief came in and gave us a talk last week, and he's like, all right, so who's actually here just for the calendar? And I was like, that's a joke, you know, like, definitely want to be in one.
All right, where are we? Let's do a couple more of these. I can't train this week because I'm on vacation and left my gym clothes. Will my muscles literally fade away, Thanos snap-like?
Buddy, you have trunks. If you're on vacation, I'm guessing you're somewhere hot, you brought a swimsuit. You can go and do anything with a swimsuit. Let alone wherever you are. If it's not in the U.S. or Canada and you're traveling, you can find a pair of shorts for $5 to $10 and a tank top that says "I love where I am."
That's a weird excuse too. It's not even that he can't find a gym, because I've definitely been traveling and then just cannot find a gym. Like, it's never a matter of like.
But most resorts have it. Or your hotel will have it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're doing hotels or resorts, when the times that it was just because I was in weird, like, backwoods neighborhoods and just literally nothing around.
But if you're traveling and you know you're traveling to that city or so, you may as well do some research and figure out a gym. Like when you went to LA, was it? You went to Barbell Brigade and a few others.
Well, LA's kind of that's an easy one.
But you knew what your plan was and where you can go.
Yeah.
I don't think this dude he just showed up and he was like, oh, well, looks like I'm not working out this week.
Sounds like he's making excuses.
Tell me you're hungover and you feel like crap. Okay, I respect that.
Sounds like you're making excuses.
But the fact that you don't have clothing,
this person is.
Unless you're literally only brought suits all week and that's not really traveling, I don't know.
But okay, clear this up for some people. He's away for a week. You will not lose 4 or 5 years of progress in 1 week.
It depends on how hard you've been training leading up to that. It could be beneficial for you.
Yeah. It definitely can.
Your mind will be telling you, man, you have no pump, you feel smaller. It happens. That's what it does. The pump is truly the cure. Quote Antoine Valiant. But the pump is truly the cure. Like, if we all feel like small when the pump is not there, but when you get that pump, you feel like Thanos. Massive.
It's all just...
Right? But that's the thing. It's like, even if you take 1 to 2 weeks off, it's just don't push after the 2 weeks. Because you could lose drastic. It's repetition.
Yeah.
You're becoming stale. Your body wants to move. Your body needs a challenge. So that's why we want to go up in weights and change a different angle and try the different exercise.
But if people are, if they're going away for a trip or whatever, if there's a situation where they're going to be away for 1 week and they can't go to a gym or do anything, and they're worried about losing all their gains or whatever.
Let me say this. If you're going to go away for a week or 10 days, or you're limited to training and you only got 2 days a week or whatever it may be, limit yourself to doing legs and back. Those are the two largest muscles that you're going to have. Those will be the most that will create more growth hormone in your body. And you know what? Your body works together when you're doing those two muscles. You need your upper body to help you for your leg for your leg session, and you need that chest to stretch and help you. Your triceps may not be doing a lot of work, but they will be contracting at some point during a back exercise by how far that stretches.
But ultimately, even if you have access to absolutely nothing, you really just have to do nothing for a week. You're okay with resting. Just make sure you're eating enough to feel somewhat full. Yeah.
Because if you're eating less, drinking more, not training, and it's going 7 days, 10 days, you will start feeling smaller. Like you will feel smaller, especially if you've gone, a surplus of weeks of training consistently, 4-6 days a week. You will feel smaller. You may not be getting smaller, but your body will feel deflated. Let's say there's not something contracting the muscles to make it challenging. But again, after 2 weeks, really don't push that line. Like, you should get back into your routine. I usually like to take a week off, but in that week off, it's not like I'm just gonna chill out and do anything.
Yeah.
Because even after 2 days off, maybe 3 days off straight, and you're not really moving much, you feel stiff and stale. Your back becomes like, oh God, I feel like I just got older. And all it was is that you just didn't move as much.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, let's do another one. Very happy that my gym has about 20 to 30 squat racks. That's a lot of fucking squat racks.
That's a CrossFit gym for sure. There's no way.
They're all set up in pairs where they face each... Oh, that's a nightmare. That's like a... Yeah.
What?
They're all set up in pairs where they face each other. I'm going to try to explain this the best way I can. My stupid question is there any etiquette as to performing your sets at the same time as the person in front of you? I usually like to step aside when they're doing their set so I can see themselves in the mirror, but sometimes I'm in a rush and I have to do mine as well. Weird setup to have your squat racks all facing each other.
Be mindful of what the other person is doing. If you can see they're doing 20 reps, then yeah, I may start doing my set while you're doing yours. But if I see you doing, a heavy set of 3 where your focus is, I can see you needing that focus, I will give you that space and time.
So it's basically a read the room type of situation.
You have to read the book. Yeah, you have to read the person, the exercise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
It's the same thing as like supersetting with someone and they're doing a drop set. Like, when can you say, are you done yet? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Like, if we're both sharing this machine and you're just doing this fucking 7 drop set, but you're getting to that last drop and it's 20 pounds and you're clearly looking like you're doing more than 10 reps, I'm going to be like, get off. But if you're going down each scale and I see that you're really pushing and you're giving it your all until you're at 20 pounds and you can't move that weight, I'll respect that work, man. I know what you're putting yourself into and I'm for it. But if I see you half-assed, I'll be like, get the fuck out of this. What are you doing, bro?
Well, it's a similar situation as the wall sit kid, right? Because this reminds me of another time where I was, again, at Torque, in the powerlifting area, on our power racks, our deadlift platforms are right in front of the squat racks.
Yep.
So when I squat, again, I don't like to face the wall. I want to face out toward the gym. So that means that I face the deadlift platform. I set up in a squat rack one time, and I was there first, and then it just so happens sometimes, just by the nature of the setup, is that you will end up sometimes squatting with somebody having to deadlift in front of you, strictly by virtue of the fact that there is nowhere else because there's no space. In this case, there wasn't. So, guy set up his deadlifts in front of me. But in between his sets, he wouldn't leave the platform.
He was just standing there waiting?
He in between his set, he would put the bar down, clearly finish his set, and then just stand there right in front of me, like.
And you were facing.
I was
towards
facing
the front of the gym, and he was facing towards the back.
Out. Well, no, he was facing. Thank God, he was facing away. So we were facing the same way, but I'm staring at the back of this guy's head, and like you've seen.
I'd be like, "Hey, brother."
It's like
I'm just.
But it's the same thing. It
was
the same thing. I didn't say anything because then, like, I just don't want to. Like, I'm just so not confrontational that I just.
You gotta read the room.
I would stare at the back of this guy's head. He's like this. Like, I'm not kidding. He's this far from me, because. Yeah, like the deadlift platform is literally right up against the squat rack. So I was like staring at the back of this guy's head, and he wouldn't move. So like because normally in a situation like that, like I'll stand off to the side, or I'll sit on, or like I'll whatever. I'll find a spot that's out of the way, and then when you finish your set, then I'll come around to the squat rack to do my set. So I did that, but then he just stayed there. So then I'm like,
that's awkward, man.
I was wondering, is he gonna move or? And then for one set, he faced me. So now I'm, like
it's more
dying under like whatever weight I'm squatting, staring right into this. He wasn't looking at me, thank God, but like he's literally, we're like,
I'm like, Dan, I'll tell you, move out of the way, please. It's just don't do that again. That's it.
Yeah, that's ultimate takeaway from this is try to avoid standing right in front of people.
Yeah,
and read the room.
It's eye contact while you're lifting, like what you're looking at.
It's
very important.
Yeah,
with balance. I tell all my clients, you get that one client that you're doing squats with or deadlifts, and they're curious to see their form, so they'll turn their neck to the side to see if my back is straight. Don't worry, I'll tell you. But you're turning your neck. That's part of the spine. Your back is now being utilized in a very strong, heavy movement where it should all be focused.
Yes.
I show everybody the same test that shout out to Kyle Gento, showed me this many years ago when he was showing me weightlifting, intro to it. Was like stare somewhere, lift your leg up, and then look around. The second you start looking around, you lose that balance. So whether it's like, I get it. If you're looking at your biceps, cool. It's one thing. You're not affecting that movement when you do this.
Yeah.
But if you're doing back or chest and you're turning and you're looking, you're switching little things that could take a toll in a wrong way. Especially when you're like squatting and you're doing this and you need that to be all tight. You can't be relaxing. So the one thing I tell all my clients is you find a spot, no matter what the movement is, stare at it until you're done. Don't look around. Don't look at me. Don't look at the floor. Don't look at what somebody else is doing. If someone's staring at you 15, 30 feet away, you're somehow going to find another spot or look past them. Find that zone where you're focused and nothing is going to take it away from, especially in weightlifting. Because if you start looking around while you're trying to snatch on your way up, it ain't happening. You're not catching it unless you're Sonny Webster or something, right? He's got some weird moves. He can do it.
Well, the way that it's explained, especially in weightlifting, is that where you look is where you're going to go. So if you look down, you're going to go down. If you look back, you're going to go back.
Yeah.
That's why they have you look straight forward. And that's why when this kid's doing this wall sit, I have to stare into his eyes.
And I think people at Torque are pretty good with their gym etiquette. They've just learned from their mistakes, and that's the way it should be. Whatever.
Yeah, you got to make the mistakes to learn from them.
But don't make me tell you twice.
You don't have to, but
3 times is already enough. That's whoa. Are you okay?
Let's do one more and we'll wrap this up. Oh, this is a long one. Fucking hell. No, let's not do that one. Went for an extra rep on heavy bench and failed.
Oof.
Did the roll of shame, picked up the bar, and turned around to put it back on the rack. It tipped, and the weights on one side fell off and made a loud bang, and everyone turned to look at me. Oh, that's a nightmare. Stood there red-faced and having just failed a 40-kilo bench? 40-kilo bench. So it was like 95 pounds?
Pretty much.
But there's this person saying, I'm not going to gender them, but it tipped and the weights on one side fell off. So weights plural, but 40-kilo bench.
Probably been tens.
You'd have to have on a 20-kilo bar. You'd have to have 2 5s on each side for there to be multiple multiple plates and still make 40 kilos. How much noise could it have been? Like that's like dropping.
I've seen people drop like 3 to 4 on each side, like 3, 4.
But
here,
this person's
3, 4
dropping.
here.
This person's dropping maybe 2 10-pound plates on the floor. How much noise could that have possibly made?
Not that much.
Have you ever missed a bench?
Yeah, I
Like by
fucking
yourself?
tore my pec.
Oh.
That is missing a bench press.
But you weren't by yourself.
I was not.
You had a spotter, thank
I
God,
did.
which is what you should do.
I've never dumped the chest on my bar enough to be like, dump on one side, dump on the other, and then get it off. But I've been to the point where I'm like, hey, I know you're over there, but I'm going to go to failure, so just be around in case I do come down and I can't get it up. That's fine. I was never saved. It was like, okay, come now. Come lift it, cool, rack it. But I've never had to be like, oh! Never. I just know, like, I knew my capacity and how much more to push it and how much more I have. But I've seen it in real life, and
yeah, I've had
it could be dangerous, man. You just got to be careful.
I've had it happen to me early on.
But
I wasn't even at Torque yet, but I was trying so hard to get a 135 bench.
Did your butt come off the floor? I mean, did your butt come off the bench?
I don't remember.
A lot of people who are trying that hard tend to lift their butt off just so they can keep pushing up.
Yeah,
make as much decline as you can before you really die.
Yeah, I remember. I feel like I was just trying to push it because I just so badly wanted that big plate on the bar. So, but I was just like pushing it. I probably got up to like 130, and I missed that. And yeah, I had to get saved. It's crazy when you fail a bench press. It's one of the most helpless feelings because you're pushing with everything, and it just feels like your arms just aren't working. Yeah. Well, no matter what you do. Your just arms are just turned off.
You got this pressure in your core.
And there's nothing you can do about it. It's one of the most helpless, most humiliating feelings. But just moral of the story, just ask for a spot. It's not weird. It's not weird to ask people for a spot.
Ask for a spot.
Nobody is going to say no, unless they're in the middle of an exercise.
Yeah,
like nobody's going to say no. At most, they'll be like, "Let me finish this, and then I'll come and spot you." But
man, I got some people who don't even have to say it. They'll just look at me and like do a hand signal, and I'm like,
I've done that too.
I got you. Just let me finish this.
You have that reading with people.
Yeah,
when you're
no
just
words
like,
were exchanged.
When
just
you see somebody who's on a bench and they're like kind of like looking around, you kind of just like look at them, and you're just
I got you. I can hand that off.
Okay, all right. That's the last one I got. Let's leave it there. We've been going.
I'm hungry, man.
Yeah, me too.
Let's do this.
All right. Well,
welcome and thank you for the 3DD podcast.
Well, cheers again. Thank you for doing this.
Cheers, bro.
Always a great time talking to you.
It's always a great time here.
We will check in with you again when Rod has saved a few lives as a firefighter. But until then, that's been the 3DD podcast with Rod. Tell people where they can find you.
Instagram and Facebook
at
Rodrigo Silverback.
Thank you.
Nice and simple.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
That's the show. Thank you, guys. Cheers. Thank you for watching. If you watched, if you listened, if you made it all the way to the end.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, really.